Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do, we need 2 toilet paper rolls, okay? So go find yourself two toilet paper rolls. And then one of them we're gonna cut it right down the middle, okay? So then you have something that looks like this, and you're gonna lay it out flat, okay? On this, you need to draw like the capital letter T. So it looks something like this, right? But on the end here, you want it to be pointy, right? Because it's a sword. Okay, so I'm gonna do like that, okay? And then I think what I'm gonna do before, excuse me, as I'm looking over here at my markers, I'm going to color it in before I cut it out because I think that's easier for me. So I'm just like thinking, what would I draw on here at San Jordi? So we might want to draw a dragon. If you looked at the book at all, if you saw the pictures, there's a lot of this like tile stuff. So I actually might do the tiles on mine. So you want to draw on just this like T part of the handle. It's going to be like the handle of it. Okay. So I'm drawing and coloring. I'm probably not going to be super neat because I don't want you to get bored watching this. I hope you guys are doing well. I miss seeing everybody at church, but I'm grateful that we're healthy. I hope you're all healthy too. All right, so we're going to color it. It's probably better to use markers if you have them just because they'll show up better, okay? And then same thing with this other tube, you're just gonna take your scissors and you're gonna, on one end of it, you're gonna go snip, and that's it, okay? Just 2 little snips. And then you can decorate this one, and I think I'm gonna put the dragon on this one. So you can decorate your handle. I'm gonna put that crazy dragon on here. I won't color the whole thing again because I don't want to bore you. All right. So I've got the dragon on mine, right? But you could color the whole thing, right? You could color the whole thing. The next thing that you're gonna do is cut out that T. Okay. Cut out that T with the pokey part on it. Okay. It curves a little bit. You want to kind of try to straighten it out. Okay. And then this is kind of the fun part. Take some aluminum foil. Have your mom and dad help you because this part on it is very sharp and you don't want to hurt yourself. Okay. And you want it to kind of be the same length as that, right? So it doesn't need to be very much. And then you're just going to, I'm actually going to put a little bit of glue on the actual sword. My glue is acting up today, but you can just put a little bit on here. I'm running out of my glue. That's the problem. So just a tiny bit on each side because the foil kind of sticks to itself anyway, but it's kind of nice to have something on there. And then just to make it easy, I'm just going to line it up right there, just like that, with that part of it. So I actually just put it on here and I'm like, oh, you know what? That's the dull side and I kind of want it to be shiny, so I'm going to switch it. Right, there's a dull side to the aluminum foil and there's a shiny side to aluminum foil. And then carefully, I don't need to use all of this, okay? And then you can take your scissors when you want to stop it and just cut it a little bit. And then you don't probably have to use the glue, but you can use the glue to glue it down a little bit. And then for this pokey part at the top, I can kind of feel it underneath there. It's not very long though, so I don't think I'm actually going to, I think I'm just gonna bend it up here instead. I'm not gonna follow that, I'm just gonna leave it. Makes my sword a little bit longer. So the roll stopped here, but since I have the glue on there, it's gonna hold it in place anyway. it's not, you can't really stick it into any, not that you should stick it into anybody anyway, but okay. So then you just slide this piece right down into that, and you have yourself a sword, the San Jordi sword. Okay? I hope you have fun. I miss you guys. We will see you someday soon, all right? Enjoy your week. All right, another idea for a San Jordi craft is just a quick little shield. So just to draw a shield on a piece of paper, with just a regular piece of paper, you can draw the shape. I will show you what it is in a second. All right, can you see it? So you just draw the shape of it and then cut that shape out. This one's a little bit smaller, but. And then the biggest part of the craft probably is that you're gonna decorate this, right? You're gonna decorate it however you want to. If you were a knight, what would your name be? Would you change it, or would it be knight, whatever your name is? So you have that, and then you're gonna decorate it. So San Jordi's is just decorated with a red cross, right? So he just puts a red cross right in the middle of it. And then we could color that in. The one on the book that we read to you has kind of like some, like it's like 4 corners almost, even though it's, and then there's just some little like leaves on it if you wanted to make it look like that. Okay, so that's real easy, just that. And then you can take either a strip of paper, so cut a piece of paper and kind of make a circle out of it with like tape or glue. And so we're just gonna make a little tube out of that. And then you just tape that tube to the back of the sword. You should make sure that your hand can fit in there, because that's what that's for, right? So like you can hold on to the sword. Sorry, hold on to the shield from the back, okay? So then you're all set for battle. You have your shield and your sword, right? Okay, we'll see you guys later. Hey, so I'm gonna teach you how to do a couple of crafts here today. So one of the things that we're going to make is flowers out of paper. So to do that, you're going to need to either print off the piece of paper that is on the Dropbox, or you can just draw these simple spirals on a piece of paper to cut them out, okay? So before you cut them out though, so draw them, and then before you cut them out, it's better to color them, okay? So draw them or print it, and then go ahead and color it. The reason that we color it first is once we cut it, there is going to kind of be some smaller pieces and it's going to be hard. And I colored both sides of my paper because you twist it around itself, and then that way both sides of my paper, both sides of my rows are going to be colored. So then after that, then that's when you want to cut out the pieces. Okay, so you can go ahead and start cutting. Okay, so once you're done cutting, you should have all these little coils, all right? Right, your little spirals turned into coils. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna start rolling it at the outside, okay? So this was where we started cutting. That's where we're gonna start rolling too, okay? So you gotta kind of roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. It might look a little bit like folding at first, but try hard not to crease it too much, okay? So we're just gonna keep on rolling it. We're gonna follow the trail of your spiral. And then, this was a tiny one. you're gonna get to the end, and then you have that part left that you didn't really cut. That's gonna be where you're gonna glue it. So you're gonna put glue on that spot there. It'd probably be better to use wet glue instead of a glue gun if you have it. I mean a glue stick if you have it. And then you just kind of hold it there for a little bit. And then you're gonna just kind of wanna set it to the side, okay? So here is what your flower should look like. This one's really tiny, okay? But that's what it should look like, okay? And if you're making the crown, you kind of wanna make a few of these. Once you get the hang of it though, it'll go a lot faster, okay? So keep on making those flowers. So if you're going to make a flower like this to give away to like one of your neighbors or something, we're gonna make the flower and set it to the side, just like we're doing with our other one that we did, okay? So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on this one because that one is super tiny. I would try to the ones that you're gonna give away, I would probably try to make just a little bit bigger, even if you had to draw your own spiral on a piece of paper and color it that way, because you need to fasten it to something. So that's gonna sit there for a minute, and while it's fastening, okay, I cut a piece of paper from this, right? I just went down this side of it and I cut a piece of paper, and I'm gonna color it green because stems are green. I'm not gonna do it super nice. And then I'm gonna cut 2 hearts, just kind of the same size as the flower if you can, okay? So we're gonna cut 2 hearts out. If you don't know how to cut a heart out, you just fold a piece of paper in half, and you kind of got to think with your head what a heart looks like, but you just make a half of a heart then. You hold on to the fold and cut around your finger to make a half heart shape, and then you open it up, and there's your heart. I'm going to color those in green too, because those are going to be part of the, you know, when you have a flower, there's like a part that holds, the green part that like holds the flower to the stem. That's what we're making with this. All right, and then I actually think that my stem is a little too long on this, so I'm actually gonna cut this a little bit shorter. And then we're gonna roll this piece of paper too. Let me back that up so you can see it a little bit. So I'm gonna roll this part too. Okay, I'm gonna roll it. And then when I get to the edge, there's like a little piece left there. I'm gonna take my glue and I'm gonna put some glue on that. So there's glue all the way along the edge there. And I'm gonna roll that. And I'm gonna leave it there for a minute too. Sorry, you can't see my face. All right. So that's gonna sit there like that. We're gonna leave it. All right, and then I'm gonna take the hearts, which are actually gonna be the part of the flower that it holds the flower, or it holds the rose to the stem. So make sure you put glue on the back of it, not the green part. You want the green part to show. All right, and then I'm gonna take my flower and I'm gonna put this on the bottom of it, and then I'm also going to put it on my stem and kind of pinch it around the stem. So it's not gonna look like a heart anymore. Okay, I'm gonna hold it together, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with the other heart. You want a lot of glue on this so that it holds it well. All right, so then that way we have a flower with a stem, and then I can actually give it to somebody, okay? You could also put it on a pencil or a straw instead of making your own tube, okay? And then once you get it done like this, you're gonna wanna kind of put it on its head somewhere and lean it up against something so that it can dry that way, okay? You don't wanna touch it for a while because it'll fall apart until it's dry, okay? So let that dry. All right, if you wanna make a crown, you gotta make at least probably 8 of those roses, but not with the stem, okay? So I'm gonna work on that for a minute. I'll come back in a second. Okay, so the last little part that we're gonna do is make a crown out of all of those flowers that you made. So by the way, first of all, if it's hard, you think it's hard to do those little flowers, you can, if you make your own spirals, you can make them bigger, and it might make it a little bit easier. But also, the more you do it, the easier it gets because you get used to it. Okay, so for the crown, we're just gonna take a paper plate, kind of fold it in half a little bit. Don't really fold it, but just a little bit. And then cut into the center of it so that you can go into that little hole. And we're gonna cut around the edge here. So in the end, we're just gonna have like a little O shape, right? Okay, so we have that. So that's already a crown, right? Okay, but we wanna make a flower crown like the princess was wearing. So we're just gonna take each of our flowers and we're gonna put on the bottom of them, we're just gonna put a little drop of glue, and then we're just gonna put them around the circle here, okay? Okay, so in the end, this is your crown, right? You can put it on your head and wear it around. You could get fancy and add some leaves if you wanted to. Draw some more leaves, some little heart-shaped leaves, and stick them on there. You could put some ribbon on there. Okay, so there's that. So just to review, we have our crown. We have our flowers that we could make and we could give to our neighbors. We have the sword, and then we also have the shield. So I hope that you have a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope that you have fun making these crafts. We will see you next week.